All right, good morning. Good morning. Confidence, the feeling or belief that one can rely on someone or something, a firm trust. Aloha. Welcome to another episode of Improvement Island. I'm the co-founder and CEO, Collin Devino. Today, we have Matt McCune and Quaid Madison to discuss the key truths and principles on confidence. Quaid, how are we doing today, buddy?
Dude, I'm doing amazing. I'm out here in Palm Desert enjoying some time.
Awesome, love it. Hey, Matt, it looks like you're already on an island. Where are you at, man?
I'm in the middle of the Pacific Ocean over here. This is my private island. I bought this island actually that you can see it. So.
One day we'll be going to an island and having this done on an island. That's a fact. Well, let's get into it, guys. Today, let's talk about why confidence is so important to you. Quaid, I'm going to kick it over to you.
Confidence is almost freedom for me. It allows me to move forward without hesitation. And I don't like hesitation because, that's uncertainty. And I don't like uncertainty in my life. Granted, there's always a degree of uncertainty. But at the end of the day, just like what you read off earlier, I have faith within myself and I have faith within the people that I've surrounded myself with, that, everything is going to be always moving in that forward direction. There's always going to be obstacles. There's always going to be things to jump over. There's always going to be delays and setbacks. But at the end of the day, the faith's still here. The faith's still with my friends. The faith's still with the family, and we're moving forward.
You said uncertainty. Why is that so important to you to not have that uncertainty?
Because uncertainty there's always going to be varying degrees of uncertainty, but I don't want a large degree of uncertainty in my life. It doesn't necessarily bring about anxiety, but it doesn't necessarily bring about, the most positive of myself. So I like, creating more of a positive mindset for myself, which helps create more confidence for myself. And then also, improving my own skill sets. Then I'm just a happier being just in general, because I just have less uncertainty in my house and in my life. And I know I'm just consistently just cutting forward.
Matt, what do you think, man?
I think in general, not just for myself, but for all people, someone who's kind of more confident in general is a happier human. So I think that confidence is a direct relator to that. Someone who kind of, the way you carry yourself, right? Just the importance of it for me is I want to be happy, right? And so the more confident I feel, just even out in public, even in my own home, the way I am, it's just the happiness is what I strive for.
Speaking of happy people, do you guys know who this is? Give me 1 second. I'm actually going to share the screen. And for anyone that's on the audio version, have you guys ever seen this person before?
GSP?
GSP. Do you know who that is, Quaid?
I have no idea.
George St. Pierre. He is one of the greatest UFC champions of all time. George St. Pierre is confident. The man is one of the best, if not the best welterweights of all time. I believe he has a record of 26-2, an active winning streak of 12 or more, 5-1. One thing that I love about George St. Pierre is he can jump from being one of the greatest champions of all time in the UFC, right? To now, I don't know if you guys have actually watched. Have you guys watched the new the Falcon and Captain America? Matt, did you see that?
I was tripping balls. I was watching like a couple of nights ago, and I was like, is that GSP yelling French and fighting the Falcon? I was like, what's happening here right now? I was so confused. That's cool though.
Yeah, so out of nowhere, GSP can jump from being one of the greatest welterweights of all time, one of the greatest champions in the UFC, to now he's in the Falcon, the Captain America, the new Captain America series that's on Disney Plus. And he was already in Captain America as well, and I believe it was in the second one. But it's just nuts how the gentleman can just jump from one thing to another, and he doesn't go and rely on just whoever. He relies on himself. One of the coolest quotes that I actually I was studying on this topic, and one of my favorite quotes was, "A bird sitting on a tree is never afraid of the branch breaking, because her trust is not on the branch, but on its own wings." And it says, "Always believe in yourself." Gentlemen, when we have confidence, we have the belief and Quaid, almost a certainty. Now, there will be things you have to adapt to, right? But
Right.
if you're certain and you know that your skill set is there or your talent's there and your ability to work hard is there, you're able to jump from task to task, believing in your own self. Now, the next question I want to ask Matt, if you don't mind, I'll jump into it, is how does one showcase this confidence? Like, how do you showcase your confidence into your own day-to-day life?
I think someone, if you can see someone, like the way that someone can showcase that they're confident, a lot of it's body language, right? So the way someone kind of even just holds a conversation, the way they stare at you, right? Your eye contact, so the way they smile, the way they walk, literally the way someone does everything in their day-to-day life, you can kind of just get a feeling for, hey, that person seems pretty confident. And not all cases, right? So that person really is confident, or he's confident in some aspects of his or her life, but on all of them, right? So someone could work the way he carries himself, right? He said he's organized, right? But then outside of his life, he can also not be confident in other aspects. But for the most part, it's going to be someone who can kind of, from what I've seen, someone who just carry the way they carry themselves, I guess.
Quaid, that mountain behind you looks pretty confident. What do you think?
No, it's a pretty confident mountain back there.
What do you
It's
think
big.
about that showcasing confidence?
It's big. It's bold. It's out there. That's just a different display of confidence, just going off the mountainside there. But like just like Matt said, there's different types of confidence. Like, and you can have like confidence like within meeting people. So you have a good handshake. You look them in the eyes. You can carry the conversation. Or on the back end of your own life, you could just be using that as a mask to back end, mask the rest of your life that could be in chaos. You're not doing well, you're not confident in the other areas, whatever. So I think, confidence comes down to, where's that person's state of mind. So yes, they can, shake their hand, they can look you in the eye and do all this, but when you sit down, you have like, a 5-minute conversation, you ask them some questions. Are they able to answer these questions? Are they able to, feel confident and comfortable with themselves? So I think a lot of it is just the confidence. It relates to a lot of your own, not self-esteem, but your own display of yourself.
I love that. Confidence is verbal and nonverbal, right? It's the ability, like how Matt, you were discussing a lot of the nonverbals, the way that you kind of hold yourself up, your posture, your tonality, your knowledge, right? All that fun stuff. But at the same token, I love how, Quaid, you related to your mindset, right? And I actually asked you guys for an activity to get done of showcasing some pictures of when you guys felt like you were the most confident in one of your sectors of life. So Quaid, I'll start off with you. If you can explain this picture for me, my man, I actually am pulling it up for you right now.
Yeah. We can pull it up. So
go ahead.
Right? Yeah.
Abercrombie and Fitch. Sheesh.
It looks like it. You look like you're modeling. Who took that picture, Quaid?
I set my camera up behind me and it took me like a half hour to get that shot.
Got it. Half hour to get that beautiful shot. Where are you at, by the way? Where is that?
I was in Cabo San Lucas up on the hill in my own condo.
Got it. You weren't at Mango Deck there, were you?
No Mango Deck that day.
Got it.
No, but this was a big thing. So, I had always thought about travel hacking. I'd always thought about, going out and traveling more. So, it came down to the fact of, I feel like I need to be in the States. I need to be getting my paperwork done. I need a home base. I needed all this, extra stuff. And there was a lot of uncertainty ending my house lease. There was a lot of uncertainty, not really having a home base. And my home base is, basically whatever hotel I'm staying at that night. So there was just a lot of uncertainty, where I was going to be, whether I could, afford to stay at that place, what I was going to get for food. There was just so many unanswered questions. But I'm like, this is something I need to do to push myself. So, I ended the lease in Carlsbad, California, moved everything to a ghetto apartment in Vegas, and ended up just started traveling. And this was the first place that I stopped on my trip. Is I rented a Cabo in San Lucas, and I worked there for almost a month, just staying at this condo and working and grinding and working on expanding my business, because it was at a point where it was kind of at a standstill with what I was doing in e-commerce. So I did this to put myself into an uncomfortable position to figure out how I was going to grow and how I was going to adapt to it. And I knew I was going to be able to do it because of the self-confidence I had in myself, but it was still a big jump for me to go out and do something. And now, you fast forward 5 months later, I'm still doing the exact same thing. I'm traveling all around. I'm staying at all-inclusive resorts. I'm staying at condos. I'm building the business and I'm consistently putting myself into new environments around new people, around new cultures, to where I can, see things a little bit differently, see how other countries do it, or how other mindseted people do it, or whatever it may be. There's just so many different ways to view things when you're kind of consistently traveling and seeing just new ways people are doing things, and just new environments, different languages, like everything. It's almost an overload of all your senses. So for me, that's good, because I like taking in that information. I like sorting through it. I like finding patterns. I like finding to where I can add value to certain, businesses, or to people, or to whatever it may be.
I can attest to that, Quaid. You've done an amazing job to kind of give yourself that ability to be free and let your mind think. And I love that. Matt, do you have anything to add, brother?
Yeah, man, that modeling business seems like it's booming right now.
It is booming.
Doing great.
Love it. Matt, I'm going to jump over to you, man, if you don't mind. I'm going to throw yours on just in a second. It looks like yours is more of, I saw that you had a couple friends with you. It looks like you're watching one of the best teams in the league. Second.
Don't need to know.
All right, go ahead, Matt.
So, as I mentioned before, we talked about confidence in different aspects, right? So you can be confident in your workplace, but not in your personal life, and so forth, right? So this right here is confidence. I was most confident in who I was, and confident in my own happiness, and how to get to even more happiness, right? So this was 2019. I just came home from my mission. I had a girlfriend at the time. I was with all my friends. All these friends now basically have girlfriends, and so I don't really get to see them at all ever. But I was at a Jazz game. This was like one of the second times they wore the Mountain jerseys on the Mountain court. So I was just confident in my happiness, right? I mean, I didn't have too much stress. I was going to school at the time as well. I was just doing all these things that were making me confident in who I was. I kind of had everything set in like an organized plan of what I was going to be doing and where I was headed, right? And so this confidence right here is I was just very happy. I was confident in my happiness. I knew who I was. It was a good time. So
hey, Matt, I know you were confident in all those things, but how confident were you that they were going to win the game that night? Oh, it looks like they actually did 110-96 against the Clippers. Was Kawhi on the team and everything still there?
I think no, I don't think Quaid or Paul George played.
Oh, lastly, I had one more thing too. I guess we gotta just get you a girlfriend, man. That sounds like is what the missing recipe is. All these other cats are confident too.
But now the thing is, I'm a lot more confident now in different aspects than I wasn't back then. So now I'm not as confident in my happiness or confident in kind of what I exactly want in life, but now I'm a lot more confident in the workplace and organization and in the business world, as well as mature. So it's flip-flop kind of. I had all of these things here, and now I don't have these things, but I have all of these things. So it's kind of complicated. I wish I had all of them together, I wish I was confident in all aspects, but I'm not, to be honest. So
what are your thoughts, Quaid? I know your mind's thinking.
Well, mine's always thinking, but it's kind of what I was bringing up earlier, uncertainty. And uncertainty can be in just a lot of different things. It could be in the direction you're heading. It could be with you trying to find a girl today. It could be with you starting a new business. Is this the right business? Is this business going to die out? Do I need to tweak this business? So me reducing my uncertainty is introducing more and more things that reduce that uncertainty, so I have more confidence in myself, so I can make the big jumps that I do. So to explain all that, I have multiple businesses. If one fails, I have multiple other businesses doing multiple other things. So guess what? I've still got cash flow coming through the door. And if I don't like a place, guess what? I don't have a lease there. I don't own the place. So guess what? I say, hey, I'm checking out and I'm going somewhere else. So for me, it's just uncertainty is almost just being locked into something. And I reduce that locked in feeling to with having the confidence in myself of being able to go out and start anything I wanted to. Like if overnight, if I had everything stripped from me, I could go back out and rebuild it, relatively easy. I mean, it'd be a lot of hard work, but I've done it so much to where it would just be me putting myself back into that system and just grind mode.
Anything to add, Matt?
I don't, not to add, not necessarily, but I do have some questions
Yeah.
for the both. Collin, as well, were you gonna explain your picture before I continue as well, or what?
No, go ahead, brother. You're good.
Okay. So I want to know, Quaid, how do you get so confident? And just you seem like a pretty confident man. I mean, I've known you for a while now, right? So how are you seem so confident, and especially in the business world, but as well as like in your personal life, Pat, where does that come from? I know it's like something great, but where does it come from?
This came so it comes down to two things. It comes down to experience, and it comes down to your why. So one, my experience was I've failed a lot. Like I have failed in businesses, I have failed investing, I have failed in relationships, I have failed myself. I have legitimately like failed hard in a lot of things, like really hard in a lot of things. And from that, I've learned lessons, but what's also pushed me after each and every failure to go and try something else was my why. My why was, I never wanted to be chained in a job. I always wanted to have my own time freedom. And I always wanted to be able to have time for my own self-care, because people always talk about time being your most valuable asset. That's not true. That's the farthest thing from being truth as possible. Your most valuable asset is yourself. And that's mainly your health and your knowledge, your experience, and your confidence. If you don't have that, time means nothing. I mean, if you don't have health, you've only got a day then. You've got a year. I mean, that's not really time. You have time is if you keep yourself daily, consistently eating the right things, exercising, keeping the mind right, putting yourself around the right group of people that are all heading in the same direction, and removing as much friction from your life as possible. There's always going to be friction in life with, business obstacles, with, your wife, your girlfriend, with your pet not listening, with your kids not listening, with your business partner not listening. It's always going to happen. But if you can reduce a lot of just the negative, just BS stuff around you, from whether it being people or some of the jobs you're in, or maybe the business that you're currently running or how you're currently managing it, then you can just, I'm always about just being as smooth as possible. So like, I always try to figure out how to travel hack and how to credit hack things and life hack things. So, when I show up to the airport, I'm not standing in lines. When I show up to the hotel, I'm not standing in line. I basically walk up to the key, say, hey guys, I'm here. They give me my key and I go up to my room. I'm always looking for ways to make it easier just so I can operate on what I want to operate on. But back to your original question on how I got into the confidence, was it's just honestly, just tons of failure and my why. And my why was, just being able to have my own time freedom. And I understand if I want that, I got to sacrifice a little bit now to, one, to make money, two, to save that money, three, to invest it and make sure that invested money is actually, working and not just growing a little bit.
That's some great advice when it comes to life confidence. That's something that I need to bring up my why. But what about self-confidence in your physical appearance? Where do you
self-confidence in your physical appearance? So that's tough for me because I've always been kind of like an ectomorph. I've always been a lot skinnier, and I've always viewing myself as a lot skinnier, which I mean, it is what it is. I'm skinny, low body fat, and that's just how my body is. But I've always wanted to, put on weight. I've always wanted to fill out my shirts. I've always wanted, so you can't see my elbow bone on my elbow. But it comes down to is if I know I'm daily consistently, hitting my goals of, my caloric intake and going to the gym, my body is what it is. So as long as I'm maintaining my health, and if my body is like this, then hey, it is like this, but I'm still happy because I'm still healthy. Granted, I may not be that body image, but guess what? That body image was formed when I was younger, looking at all these, muscle building videos on YouTube and looking at Muscle Kai and, Ronnie Coleman and all these guys. It's like, clearly that's not going to be me because that's not how far I wanted to go with it. But, I still do want to be, athletic. So, for me to be athletic, I don't need to have, 20, 30, 40 more pounds of muscle on me. I just need to have, some cardio and some basic strength. And if I'm happy with that, then I'm happy. So I've had to kind of, I've had to change the perception of myself physically, just because, hey, my body operates differently from your body. So as long as you know that as long as you know you've got your diet and your training down, then you should be good. Because at the end of the day, if you do that on a daily, consistent basis, you'll get to where you need to get to. And that's all you need to focus on. Is you need to focus on the journey, not the end point. The end point can kind of be like your why to get there, but you still got to focus on this journey. Because if you're not focusing on this and you're just trying to get here, you'll find shortcuts to get there, and that's not how it works. You got to focus on building that consistent journey along the way to get to what you want to get to.
Collin?
What aspect? Which one?
And body image and self-confidence and physical appearance.
Yeah, I'm not as confident right now. So from my end, it's more of I'm focusing on what I can control mentally each and every day. But the honest truth is I'm not as confident as I was, 4 to 5 years ago, because my priorities have shifted. We're in different priorities right now, Quaid and I, on our life and where we're at. So my areas of focus, it's all about what your focuses are, right? We talked about it last episode, where your focus goes, your energy flows. And if my focus is I want that right now, then I would be at the gym and not be on this call. So it's more of, what do you want? If I want that, let's go after it. And if I don't, then, that's why I'm not as confident. But the thing about it is, in the same breath, I don't care to be as confident in that sector. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. All right.
So,
well, let's jump into our fourth question, guys, which is, how does one gain more confidence? And I have a couple things that I want to add to this, if that's okay with you guys. So I researched a little bit on this. I actually searched a video by Tony Robbins, and he talked about 3 things and 3 ways that we can gain confidence now. We talked about it. One of them is our physiology, right? The ability to kind of change the way your body thinks right now, or how it's moving right now. So for example, I'm going to ask both of you guys actually to do an activity, if you don't mind. You both are sitting and I'm standing. So what I would love for you guys to do right now is, if you can tilt the camera or do something, stand up real quick. Stand up real quick, right? There he is, Quaid. I see that shirt. Okay, David Goggins, I see you, Matt, right? Stand up real quick. And what I want you guys to do right now is walk around the area as if you have a cape on your back. Have your chest really out and walk around wherever you're at with, like, as if you have a cape around, and have that cape float around real quick for you. Walk that cape around. Let's keep doing it. Come on. Get that chest puffed up. Come on, Matt. I can't even see you in the picture. There's Quaid. I can see Quaid. Where are you, Matt?
I'm coming with my cape.
Move your cape around, all right? If you just change your physiology, how do you feel right now, Quaid, with your chest up and you're up?
I've got like the Batman, my cape over my face.
Matt, how are you feeling? Sincerely, walk around as if you have a cape on. How do you feel?
A little. I feel like a Superman, but not the confidence that Superman has, but just the big man wearing a cape.
We just got to get your body like Superman, and you'd be good. So just the ability. You guys can sit down now. That's fine. The ability to change your body's state, right? There's affirmations. There's standing up and getting your chest puffed out a little bit, right? Just feeling confident. Eye contact when you talk to people. Those little things can change literally in a second how confident you are, right? Your physiology. The next step would be to be able to control your mental focus, right? Here's a question I have for you guys, right? And this is actually going to be one of our homework assignments, is think about what you actually want in your life. Think about what you want to accomplish. And what is the best way you can get that done? What is the process that needs to be done? It's the ability to control what needs to get done and absorb that information and get the steps down and the knowledge base that you need in order to be successful in that aspect of life. So if we just took time right now, and I told you guys, I'm not going to do this activity right now. It's going to be part of our homework assignment. But if I told you to write down 5 things that you want to get done by the end of your life, right? And what are the steps to get there? You would at least have some sort of roadmap and ability to get there. Because Quaid, you said it best. When we're uncertain about things and how we get things done, yes, you can put a little bit of stress in your life, and stress at sometimes can be great, right? The stress to get done with the test, the stress to get done with like an assignment, let's say right now a cop pulled up in your yard, your focus is like purely on that thing. Sometimes stress is a good thing because it helps us to laser focus. But when we're stressed all the time, that's when things start getting unclear. So being able to roadmap and control just like what your mental focus is a great thing in order to become more confident. And the very last thing, guys, is to change your poor and limiting beliefs, right? Everything that you want in life is right in front of you. And if we're able to control those beliefs and actually how we see things and our potential and our ability to get things done, those three different steps, again, your physiology, being able to control your mental focus, as well as changing your limiting beliefs, helps one to just gain more confidence automatically. Quaid, what are your thoughts on that?
So it's just like what we brought up in the beginning, you know, confidence is just a feeling within oneself. And that feeling in oneself is like what you just said. There's multiple ways you can make yourself feel like that way. So, you know, one could be confidence coming from your own physical appearance and what your own fitness goals are. It could also be coming from your own mindset. And mindset, I think a lot of people need to focus, because there's so many times I'm talking to other entrepreneurs, other business owners, or, you know, other people that are just wanting to get into business, and something little comes up and they freak out. It's the end of the world. And I'm like, guys, whoa, relax. Everything's fine. This is an obstacle. How do we get over an obstacle? We climb over the obstacle. How are we going to climb over this problem? How did it happen? Let's find the root cause. Let's eliminate the root cause. Let's put into, you know, measures that will prevent this from happening in the future. And then let's put in the expansion plans and move forward. So a lot of it just comes down to just looking at things. I mean, you don't want to be like too preppy for everybody, but like, you know, if you're having to pay a lot of money in taxes, guess what? You're making money type of deal. So it just comes down to how are you looking at the situation? I mean, if you hit that crack and fell over the crack, or are you mad at yourself for tripping over the crack? Are you a person that's going to, you know, fix the cement on your property so you no longer trip over that crack, you know? If you see an issue with clients, you know, consistently hitting roadblocks in their business, is there something, and that comes back to you and you have to take care of it? How can you do something preventative to reduce that so there's not that uncertainty? And that uncertainty is what creates stress. So my whole big thing is I've created a mindset to where I'm eliminating these uncertainties before they even pop up, so I can continue moving, kind of not necessarily smoothly through life, because, you know, nobody moves smoothly through life. There's always no hectic stuff happening, but it allows me to have more mental focus on whatever problem or whatever obstacle or whatever goal I'm currently wanting to focus on.
You guys keep saying the word focus, right? So I think a big part of it, a key indicator for confidence is going to be that mental focus, right? Because I can be the biggest guy in the world. I can look like Cristiano Ronaldo, LeBron James, you know, I can have the body of those dudes, but if I haven't conquered my own mind of who I am, of the body image, that confidence comes up here, right? It doesn't matter what I look like. I mean, and the reality is someone who doesn't have that type of body, right? Someone who maybe is very out of shape or overweight, right? They can still be confident humans as well, right? Even with their own bodies, even if it's not healthy or whatever, right? But they can still be confident in who they are, because they should be, right? And so a lot of it is just what I'm learning from you guys today. It's that mentality. It's conquering your mentality and your brain of who you want to be with all these organizations, right? Creating this roadmap in all aspects of your life, with home, personal life, your wife, kid that coming on the way, right? Physical image, right? So all these things, yeah, what I'm learning from you guys is that mental focus. So that's something that I think for myself, I need to conquer. I mean, someone who you mentioned David Goggins, right? I've been listening to a lot of David Goggins lately, and if we're talking about anyone who knows how to conquer their mind, it's that guy right there. That dude has conquered his mind, and he owns it. He owns it literally. He can literally do whatever he would like to do. Like, say he wants to go jump, he can jump 30 feet in the air. That dude will, I promise you, he'll find a way to accomplish that. That guy just knows who he is, what he wants, and all of his abilities. And so that's something that I think I need to figure out how to do. How do you guys know? Have any suggestions on how as well?
Yes.
How to conquer your mind?
Yes, it's question number 5. how do we lack the confidence is we're focusing too much on ourselves and not on other people as well. David Goggins, let's go back to David Goggins. David Goggins, yes, he has a discipline. Yes, he went and he decided to leave his wife to accomplish all these things. But Matt, you are now impacted because of David Goggins. Because David Goggins decided to go the route that most don't go. He is now known as one of the best mind control individuals there are, right? A person that is able to just go inside of his own mind and dominate that. So think of the bigger picture of Matt. If you decided to go this route, who are you going to impact? That's number one. Don't focus on yourself. Focus on the people that are going to be impacted because you went that route, because you decided to go that hard. What books are not written yet because I haven't done this yet, right? So that's number one. And the number two thing is to remember what the accomplishments you've done in your life. Remember the things that you've done and done unbelievably, right? Go look at that picture of that jazz, of when you're on the jazz court every once in a while. When was the last time, and you don't have to answer this, but when was the last time, other than when I asked for this homework assignment, you went back and looked at that memory? When was the last time you looked at the memory of you being the most ripped you've ever been? When was the last time that you looked at the memory of you being the most spiritual you've ever been? Remembering the accomplishments you've done in the past, as well as understanding that because you're going this route, how many lives you're going to impact because Matt went that route. Quaid, do you have anything you want to add?
Well, I mean, so one of the things I want to back up to is just a little bit is there can be, like low self-confidence, but there also can be, like over self-confidence. Over self-confidence is, kind of like in my case is I think I can do anything and everything. I'm not arrogant about it. But the downside for that is for me is I'm not the best at delegating. So I'm getting to a point in business to where I'm so confident and I think I'm the only one that can handle all the roles that nobody else can, that now I'm not stagnant in the business, but I'm almost kind of getting to the bottleneck of the business. I'm the bottleneck because, I'm the only one that can do anything because I'm the only one that's entitled myself to do it. So now it's to the point to where I need to become a better leader and become confident in being becoming a leader to where I can bring people in so they can start taking away some of the pieces of my business so I can be confident on what I should be confident on, which is expanding, moving the business forward and creating that impactful business that's going to impact people and help the people that are not only working with me and for me, but, for my clients, for my partners, for, anybody else that could potentially be in it. And then I think also like self-esteem and self-confidence is slightly different. Self-esteem is more of one's own body image, where, confidence is a term that we use to describe our ability to perform roles and to perform actions and to, or to perform in a situation.
What are your thoughts on that, Matt?
I think I have a hard time with the not just the self-esteem we're calling it, right? Self-esteem, but this mentality, as well as I don't always go into like, I have days where I feel very confident and days where I don't, right? For me, it's not a consistent day-to-day thing where I'm like, I always feel this way. I'm always confident in this, right? For me, Tuesday I feel very confident. Wednesday I don't, right? For some reason, that's just who I am. But I would like to get to the point where I am consistent and confident every day in all aspects. And I'm just trying to learn how to do that.
I think just one comment would be just think about what your rituals are in the morning then. I think your morning rituals and what you do to get yourself to, per se, an equilibrium maybe needs to change. Maybe after this call, you take some time and review what you do each and every day. Maybe the reason why you're not confident on Tuesday or Wednesday, we'll say, is because you're not doing the same rituals that you need to be doing on Tuesday. Or you can't just look at what the end result was from the day prior with, let's say, work and say, oh, I'm confident today, but yesterday, because I didn't get this, I'm not. It's what are we doing in the morning to prepare ourselves for the battle, as well as what we're reading, what we're listening, what we're eating, what kind of exercise we're doing, getting your dopamine levels up, your serotonin levels up. Those are some of my thoughts.
On that real quick, so that kind of goes back to the last question. How does one gain more self-confidence? Well, for me, gaining more self-confidence coming down to becoming the best version of myself. Now, everybody has a different version of their best self. So what is the version of your best self? Write down what are those qualities, what are those actions that you need to do to become your best version, and are you doing that on a daily basis? And that will help build the self-confidence.
I like that. I like that a lot. I'm right.
And actually, I'm trying to find it because I actually did this for another exercise, but I have a whole list of daily actions I need to check off, so I feel, you know, like rewarded and confident within myself. Action. Let's see if I can find this, but keep going.
Yeah, I just had one last comment is confidence is key to success. Confidence gives us the opportunity to go from action to action without skipping a beat. People can feel when you are not confident. People can feel when you are confident. But in the end, Matt, I love how you keep saying mindset. The sincere truth is, if I believe that I'm confident and I do those rituals, I get my physiology to a spot where it needs to be. I control my mental focus. I'm able to kind of recreate my beliefs every single day. That will add to your confidence each and every day. And when you are more confident, you are more likely to take risks in life that will help you to succeed. When we're not confident, we stay in a certain shelter. We don't want to be uncomfortable anymore. But when you're confident with your own beliefs and your actions and what your results can be, that's when you can be owning that island that's behind you, Matt. That's when you can scale that mountain that's right by you, Quaid. If you're confident, you have the courage and you unlock the courage to take the risks that you need to do. Quaid, did you find that list by chance, or what's going on?
No, I'm not. I'm not finding it in my phone right now. I've got so many notes.
No problem, guys. Well, I like to end today's call with this. This is a call to action that I would love to throw on our Improvement Island thread. Shout out to Improvement Island on Instagram, as well as on Facebook, Twitter. We're on YouTube now. We now have a subscription on Spotify. Yeah. So the homework assignment that I want everyone to do, even our listeners, is to write down your 5 greatest successes in life. 5 greatest successes. It could be a moment. It could be a project. It can be a song you wrote. It can be whatever you feel are the 5 biggest successes that you feel like I'm on top of the world. Write those 5 things down and explain the why behind you feel those are the 5 biggest successes in your life. Sound good?
It's hard.
That sounds great. I'll do it.
All right, guys. And then throw it in our thread, throw it on our Facebook group as well. I'll see you guys next time on the island. Have a great one, guys. Thanks for jumping on.
Catch you guys later.
Later.